Okay, I'm just going to walk you guys through what I got going on over here. So these are all of my EcoFlow devices. So I have a power kit in the shed, the garage. Inside of the shed, I have a 10 kW. And this is what I'm running on currently. So you can see my wife actually just turned on the microwave in there. And so it's actually just gone up to 1.79 kilowatts that the house is using. So if she were to if the whole house was on and she were to microwave something for 4 hours and 24 minutes, then the 10 kW would be depleted. And that's if no solar was going in. But because the batteries are topped off, you see it at 98% and 97%. So each one of those are a 5 kW. If you look at the input, it says 0, but you see the voltage. So solar array 1 has 144 volts ready to go. Solar 2 has 112. And solar 3 has 73 volts. They're not doing anything because the batteries are already topped off. So actually what would happen is if she ran the microwave long enough, the solar panels would start producing and it would stay in around the 95 to 100% range until the load that is needed is more than the sun can provide. That would be the only way the battery starts decreasing. All right, so actually you can see it right here. That load was enough and it went up. She's got more stuff. I hear her with the coffee pot. So since the load went up, the sun started allowing some of the energy to be produced, okay? So now you can see the input is 2.8 and the output is 1.79. So my batteries will be charged back up in 24 minutes, even though she's using all those devices. So that's why it's important when you design this, you want to make sure that you have the batteries that are able to get you through the day or until your free nights. And then you want to have enough sun that during the day that you're always able to kind of handle the output load, or at least you can handle the consistent output load. And then when you intermittently have things like ACs come on or whatever that will slowly deplete it, you can fill it back up before the sun goes down. All right, so that's that. I then have, if that were to go all the way down, I would then simply just go into my garage's 5 kW here, and I would use that to charge the other batteries. And then I actually have some portable batteries here as well that I use for smaller things, or portable stuff, lights. And then the last line of defense is this right here. This is a smart generator that runs off propane and regular gas. And I can swipe it and turn it on, but I have it set so that when I'm inside of like the shed and I'm looking at the input section, there's a setting that I can say when I want this to automatically turn on and off. So if those batteries get below 30%, the smart generator automatically kicks on. I don't have to go outside and do anything. It just kicks on. And it will charge it to 90% and then it will shut off. And I have it stop at 90% because after 90%, it gets harder and harder to squeeze those other electrons to the other side of the diode. So what's going to happen is you're going to have a lot of energy needed to get it from 90% to 100%. So what I do is I just go from 30% to 90%. That's usually going to be good enough no matter what. And then the next day that there's free energy to push those electrons through, then I'm going to use that to top it off. All right, so now that we've seen that, this is Emporia. So this is circuit transformers around every circuit telling me exactly how much energy is moving through the house. So I only have the solar and batteries on 4 circuits currently. I will have them on 14 here shortly. So if you see, there's only 6 other rooms that are actually still using power outside of the battery. So in total, there's 158 watts that I'm still paying for, which is almost nothing. It's less than a TV. The kids' rooms, 47 watts. These are probably clocks and chargers. The bath, it's the same thing. Charging devices, probably. Furnace actually ends up being quite a bit when you use this at times. But right now, it's just a security panel. And so if you add it all together, it's just 156 watts. And if I go over to currency, I'm only spending about 4 cents an hour. Okay? So then we go into Reliant. And you can see I used to have a $347 utility bill. It was average billing. And right now, I switched over to free nights plan, right? So my energy charge, if I ever use energy, it's going to be 25 cents that they're going to charge me. And that's only in the daytime. So that's why I use my batteries and solar panels to get me from 6 a.m. to 8 p.m. And then, as you'll see over here, I turn the AC all the way up. I recharge devices that, even my batteries, I'll just recharge my batteries on the grid, so I make sure it's always topped off. And usually it doesn't need that much, but it's a smart way of doing it. So you'll see like very, very low usage, and then it shoots up, right? So let's go to yesterday and take a look. Yesterday cost me $1.96, and that's only because I don't have the 10 circuits available to use for solar. I will shortly, and that will disappear to zero. And you can see, okay, it was $-1, $-1, $-1, $-1. So even when I'm using this, it's so much less than my 342 average that I'm actually getting negative utility bills even whenever I'm using a little bit of energy, right? And so here is where, around 8 o'clock is when I'll go, 9 o'clock, 8 o'clock, I'll go walk in there and I'll switch everything on to solar. The smart panel I'm getting will let me do this automatically. So I'll get rid of, these 2 different time frames right here that I'm doing it manually. I'll knock those out as well, so another kilowatt hour. And then the wife is getting home before me, and they're not switching stuff over, right? So, so usually I get home a little later. So all of this will also be automatic and taken cover. This big jump right here is where I actually turn the batteries and the solar off. And you can see me, I would be using a 5.5 kW per hour rate. It's 7 over here at 11. So this is when you start doing everything. So when you do this math, and you're getting these $2 days, this is great. And you can compare this to like last February, right? So if you want to look at this one, which was a $4 bill, and let's go back and look at the other February and look at the days, you can see last year what the days were looking like. These were completely different days. 12, and you can look at the top $12 days instead of a dollar day. And if you just do the math, if you were having a $12 day times 30, it's a $360 bill, pretty close to my average, right? But $1.26 times 30 days, way, way cheaper. And then we can wipe that out too.